The first person we know to have contracted Ebola in the United States lives in this apartment building in this middle-class neighborhood north of downtown Dallas. People who live in the street are saddened and shocked by what has happened to 26-year-old Nina Pham. Betsy Bolger lives across the street from her.
We usually see her once a day or so. We haven't seen her since maybe Thursday or Wednesday.
Betsy usually sees Nina when they are walking their dogs.
I would just say she's neighborly, she's friendly, she's positive, always has a smile. Not everyone smiles and walks when they're walking their dogs, and not everyone says hello, especially if they're engaged in not picking up after them. But she always picks up after her dog, which is good. And she's just always, I would tell my husband, she seems like somebody that's comfortable in her skin and respectable and belongs in the neighborhood. She mentioned once that she was a nurse, and we said, oh, that's interesting, and applauded her for doing that, because healthcare workers have a really rough job. They're on the front lines.
The prevailing feeling among residents on this block we've talked to is concern about their neighbor. But there is also substantial unease about not knowing details of how she came down with Ebola.
City and county officials have gone door to door in the neighborhood to answer questions about how Ebola spreads. But it is nevertheless disconcerting to many neighbors.
Pretty alarming. I'm pretty concerned now. So, hopefully, this will stay contained.
On the corner of the block is the Dallas Beast Fitness Gym. Even though Nina Pham doesn't work out here, the owner says some of his clients are on edge.
Well, we just sterilize it every day now, every hour on the hour. We have wet wipes that, disinfectant rags that we wipe off the equipment with. So we just make sure we keep everything a little more clean.
Jacob DeLuna is an electrical contractor doing work next door to the victim's apartment. He's worried.
I'm nervous about it. I don't want to. In fact, this morning I told my wife I really didn't want to come over here, but I asked her to pray for me, and she did. So I'm believing that the Lord will protect.
This maintenance supervisor is carrying a mask just in case he feels the need to use it.
If the nurse contracted the virus, then they usually take big precautions, especially with this Ebola virus. It's scary. It seems like it might be more contagious than the doctors are saying.
Some neighbors tell us other residents have temporarily left their homes while work is taking place at the victim's apartment. But not Betsy Bolger and her husband, who hope to welcome their dog-walking friend home soon.
Anybody that is willing to go out on the front lines of medicine like she's doing and take care of an Ebola patient, with direct contact, that's brave, and that's courageous, and that's a healing angel to me.